The closure of the power plant President Biden visited yesterday marked the end of an era for that community and all of New England, as it was the largest coal-fired power plant in the entire region. Ted Wheeler is a former worker at Brayton Point Power Station who retired after 38 years, and Holly McNamara is a former Somerset Selectman who resigned in 2021 over the Brayton Point fight. Good morning to you both. You know, Holly, you say that the identity of this town, of the town of Somerset, was really wrapped up in this power plant. So what economically happened to the community after it shut down?
It was such a difficult thing, both emotionally and economically. And for years before my time, people had been in denial that the plant was shutting down. And so when I came on board, you know, we all kind of knew that it was looming. And when it became a reality, people, especially workers there, everyone was grappling with, okay, where are we going to work now? Where's Somerset going to get half of its revenue? That power plant made up at least about 40% of the general fund for the town. So we were looking to bring in more economic development. We had to shift a lot of things around, and luckily we survived rock bottom. But you know, the fact that it was even purchased to begin with, we got very lucky. Yeah. So moving forward.
Yeah, we just watched a video of the two cooling towers at Brayton Point being demolished in 2019. Ted, you worked there for 38 years. How did you feel when it shut down?
Well, we were very disappointed and in denial for a while, but the writing was on the wall. It was purely economic. Coal just couldn't compete in today's market for electricity.
Yeah, and you know, Holly, you clearly care so much about your community, but you actually resigned from your position as Selectman because of this fight over the power plant. Can you tell us what happened there?
Sure, and it wasn't necessarily over the plant closure. I really wanted to get my hands dirty, and that's one of the main reasons why I ran in the first place. But several years later, about a year ago from now in April, at that point it had been a good year and a half of some people coming out of the woodwork and using the plant as a platform to get politically involved. And it really drummed up a lot of negativity. And at the time, the Trump administration had imposed a significant delay on any offshore wind project and wind power project. And so that directly affected Brayton Point and what was to come, because we had done a press release. There was a huge press release about tying in, which was similar to what we talked about yesterday. It's finally happening now, but back then it was delayed. And so the company had to bring in commodities to survive while they waited for the review of their new wind partnership. And so that took a good year, and the neighbors put up a good fight for because they did not like what commodities were being brought in. It was currently, at the time, it was a scrap staging ground. And there's been a ton of misinformation around that. And so that caused a huge fight. And a lot of the people that were running for office were using that as a platform and to do, in my opinion, there were a lot of unethical things going on. So I didn't want any part of it.
You know, Ted, so this, what was once a coal-fired power plant is going to be turned into a factory to make cables for wind farms, to connect those wind farms to the power grid. How does the town feel moving forward about this transition?
Well, I think they're mixed. However, they do need, you know, taxable income. And it's a great organization. It's Prismia. So it will help a lot. And it's a perfect place. It has a deep water port. And, you know, when they start putting the cable in, it should go like clockwork from that site.
All right, Ted Wheeler, Holly McNamara, interesting to learn a little bit more about the town that the president visited yesterday. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome.